Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Live. Neat. Yeah, I figured I'd do a bit of chat and chill with some victory bells again. Pretty easy just to play and sit around here, check out what I've got for my rolls.
I think we found out something interesting, Captain. Another job well done. Thank you, everyone.
Guns are getting there. Tech's getting there. Nice.
She's a...
Zoom, zoom. Gotta get past that level 35 mark. Took a little bit of damage there.
The mission was a success.
I just got out of the whole, like, Pensacola farming thing. Yeah, Lorza.
Hello.
I just got out of the Pensacola farm, so now I'm like, oh, time to farm some of the higher difficulties. Yep.
Fun. I am trying to find these damn mischiefs so I can spank her for mischief.
Is that for one of your dailies?
The Soviet fucking steel quest, which I really need because steel is in short supply all the time.
Yeah, I found a good spot for the or not the, what was it again? The cowardice. Cause yeah, there were a couple days ago I was like, oh my god, I actually had trouble getting my daily for that one.
Yeah.
But then
Dip told me they're looking into making it a little easier to complete those, which I'll be glad for.
I think it was a level 30 mission that unlocked one that has it. On average, I think I was getting about 3 per fleet.
I mean, I was told mischief drops in opportunity knock, so that's what I'm trying right now. But I noticed she dropped twice in Pusan Patrol during one of my missions. So
yeah.
Seems to be level 30 HQs is when she starts dropping more consistently on the map.
Oh. Hello, Kev, in my chat. Yeah, this is a mobile game that came out 2 weeks ago now, was it?
Yeah, 22nd.
Yeah. It's a game I kickstarted like 7 years ago. And only now it's come out.
13 days ago. Isn't it?
Yeah, I got the auto battling set onto like 8 times speed right now because I'm trying to grind out some levels. But yeah, I'm actually just gonna slow it down just to once it finishes loading. There we go. Hi, hello, other guy in the chat. Yeah, we got our night battle going on, so everybody's got the spotlights out.
Yeah, I won't be here for too long.
Yeah, poor Kev's a bit of a normie when it comes to warship simulators. I used to chat with him quite a bit when he was playing his Kenshi stuff. Because, yeah, around that time I jumped between all kinds of different games. So one of them is, you know, World War II and World War I, like naval warship simulators. So when Victory Bells was coming out, and it was like, oh yeah, they're gonna try to do more of that simulation stuff rather than just being an RPG. And I was like, yes.
With World War II skin?
Yeah, just with anime girl skins. Because, yeah, Belfast took a torpedo. I've definitely seen quite a few people talking about how torpedoes are really wrecking their day because they can tank a lot of hits, but only so many torpedoes, right?
I do have to. I will admit the one thing that I always think when I see those, is I think to myself like, are they not at least trying to stay out of torpedo range?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Oh.
put in the attempt.
There kind of is a gacha. It's like a super light gacha because if you wanted a character, most of them you could just farm by playing. Like there's Ashigara and Pensacola, their events. You could pay to try to get them. There's like that limited draw pool as well, where you're pretty guaranteed to get one. I haven't mathed out how much it would cost if you got really bad luck for it, but
I mathed it out. It's like $76 at worst luck, but I've been getting it consistently at about 36-ish because it's about 50 draws.
yeah,
And it's worth noting you got stuff other than the bell in it.
Yeah.
So.
It's got all these other things. Tattoo design, like
I don't know, the 68k plus ship XP vestures are hilarious to me. That exists.
but I think it took me about 2 days to farm Ashigara and maybe 3 days for Pensacola, only because I was working those days.
I
So
think we found out something interesting, Captain.
my crew guy is getting there. Let's see. I'm gonna check what is his trauma level at.
Thank you,
He's at 92%.
Fucking Belfast. Why do you cost 102 steel?
No, he's at 35 difficulty. 35 more difficulty to go.
Something break on you or something?
Probably. Or was it a
Checking.
flooded compartment?
No, it was regular damage death.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Belfast just
Another
takes a
job
fucking
well done.
102
Thank you,
steel to
everyone.
repair.
Hmm.
I'm like out of steel, so I'm trying not to do that.
I'm capped on steel.
I wish that was me.
Is that just because of lots of R&D is draining your steel as well?
I build bases. I'm a base builder.
Honestly, my ammo has been drained more from the base building.
I'm also one of the people who doesn't grind a stupid amount before trying levels, so I need to pick up
Another
more
job well
damage
done.
consistently.
Thank you,
Mhm.
everyone.
I think I'm not sure how many more of
I
these
feel.
Queen Elizabeth class directors I should produce. Because that was
Three slots? Oh yeah, it is full. Okay, fair enough.
because I went and built the Queen Elizabeth Fire Director, R&D'd it all the way to 100%. And
I need to put a steel.
see, what was
on.
it? Let's go find somebody who doesn't have one.
I'm a little peeved because I went to fucking Opportunity Knox and no freaking mischiefs dropped.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I guess one of them dropped. Okay,
You
fair
got at least one.
enough. Yeah, a single mischief.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of mischief. Alright, I need to do a supply run. I am out of steel, literally.
Yeah, with the Queen Elizabeth class, it comes with a perk on it. That's this like Jutland perk.
Oh,
And it gives you 15% damage during the daytime.
that's fair. It's quite nice.
So I've seen some of the other people going for other types of directors. I think I'll go for the Nelson next because it's got the 4 redundancy. The Queen Elizabeth is a 2 redundancy director for spotting torpedoes.
I mean, what I need now is some AA.
Mm-hmm.
That's my next goal. Well, actually, no. My next goal is to complete my projects I got currently going. I think I'm trying to get
Back to
I'm
my
trying to
old
get
self.
Pensacola's like triple turret.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got a 6-inch turret on the works, just a double, and a 4.7-inch turret's being developed, and the range keeper and the engineer.
I don't know. There's an argument that I should buy another research slot, but I'm kind of lazy and I don't want to be spamming gear anyway. I want to do it at a nice pace.
Yeah, I got the extra gold one. Because you get the one for free, and then I got the gold one.
Yeah,
The
I
other
did too.
second gold one. Just because those are so
Much
productive.
faster, yep.
Oh yeah.
They're so much faster.
I haven't gotten any of the paid.
In fact, I would almost
production
go to say you
slots.
should never put a battleship turret in a non-yellow research slot. Just ever. It's just not worth it.
Yep. And I wonder if I should just try a different. I'm trying to see which is like a nice to farm 25 to 30 map.
What are you looking for?
Just something to get EXP that's I don't have to click too much.
Mediterranean. I should get
XP, you're not looking for vestures of a specific kind?
Not currently. I've got. I think I decided to do Graf Spee or Admiral Spee for the Rose right now, just because of radar.
I think you can. Can you find Sheffield at Cape Town stamps? That might be one to look at. I haven't done it enough to know. Busan Patrol is really good if you want like Tone and Chikuma.
Yeah, I've got one of. That's where I've got my cruise fleet going.
Gotcha.
That's
Base of Vladivostok is more of like a resource place. It's like the best. It's like one of the better places to get steel. I don't actually know about Opportunity Knox, what it's good for, aside from killing mischiefs.
yeah.
I'm just looking through my list here. Oh, there's like 25 events, I think. End of the World Patrol. Have you done that a bunch?
The World Patrol.
End of the World Patrol. It's a really good place for
Maybe.
American heavy cruisers.
Yeah,
You can get,
Kev's
like, one shot
asking,
there.
does combat look different if it's not auto? So the combat is always auto. You essentially, it runs like a naval simulation, and we just kind of see the ships just kind of blast at each other, but they're actually are moving and advancing towards each other. I've played some other similar ones, so I'm kind of used to visualizing what's going on, where you don't really like control your ships all that much,
Yeah.
and you just kind of let the numbers do all the work because they're going to figure out the range. And so right now we're in an artillery phase. They're going to only some of my ships are in range right now, and so they're shooting with their guns and they're hitting compartments. Right now I heard the devs say we're only using a 2D damage model right now.
Yeah, rather than a three-dimensional one.
Yeah, I think he was saying there's like a horizontal and a vertical slice. And then eventually they want to try to get like actual 3D damage modeling that's going on in the background where you can't see it. So yeah, I'm in a torpedo phase, and they're kind of throwing torpedoes.
She's halfway sunk. Don't let up now.
And then, oh, they're doing a torpedo run. Yeah, that torpedo run lets them move forwards, and then they get to move back. And then, there's the big torpedo salvo right at Belfast. She dodged.
Trying to watch a stream here. It's a little delayed.
Yep.
When we're talking.
That's why I want to get that Nelson class fire director, just so at least I can put it on whoever is getting targeted the most by torpedoes, which is usually Belfast right now, but eventually it's going to be some other ships.
Oh my god, the absolute flood of torpedoes. I also realized it's going to sound horribly desynced from what Kev is looking at, I imagine.
But yeah, this fleet was like 6 destroyers.
Captain, is what
I think it's actually all.
wasted seconds sound like.
Oh, be nice, Edinburgh. I do like some of their trash talking voice lines. Will be interesting once we get more of the characters voiced over. Yeah, because Ladacious there just torpedoed, but got no... She doesn't have a voice actor.
Are the humans supposed to know we're here?
Yeah, there's also... I am considering after I finish developing some of my destroyer guns if I'm gonna go down the torpedo development stuff next.
Torpedo!
I haven't touched any of my long lances just because I don't want to take them off my bells. They're all they're like a frontline fleet.
Yeah, because I'm just watching all my torpedoes miss. Yeah, there's a story. I think I got to level 16 on the story right now. Yeah, so right now the historical starting point is 1936. So all of the ship characters in the game were taken from, you know, actual ships, and the characters that you see are like representations based off of like historical moments and, you know, things like sailor stories and stuff like that. And then they come up with the character designs for the ones that we do have in. And then within the lore in the game, you've got the bad guy, the Morganas as they're called.
Girls, excuse you.
Yeah. And so
Naughty
the
girls.
and they show up and start causing problems, and then you find that some of these warships on your side have these like spirits basically.
If you're a fan of 40K, their machine spirits basically decide to show up in the form of women.
Yeah. And they essentially help empower your ships to fight back. So there's quite a bit of character, like every character, they're called bells that are on your side, and they all have unique storylines that you can go down individually as well. There's the main story, and then each character has their own storyline that you can go down. And then eventually it sounds like the developers are going to gradually go on to like 1937 and so on, right?
You mean 1940? Because it's 1939. You mean 1940?
Yeah.
I think the plan is all the way to 1946. If we can make it. That's like 7 years of content.
Yep.
7 years of content.
And then there's stuff like possibly PvP being added. I've heard about some of that.
What does it even look like?
I mean, if it's like, say, there's content collection, that one's PvP is you just post a fleet, and then that goes onto the server, and people who challenge that sort of screenshot of your fleet. And that's also similar to Azure Lane.
So basically most gacha games, honestly.
That way it's not like too demanding for both like server and on player data. Like, you know, I play this on break a lot of the time.
Right.
And it's kind of nice to only see that, oh hey, you know, a 15-minute break playing the game, and it's only taking like 1 megabyte of data.
Don't worry, Captain.
Alright, well, since I completely ran out of steel, I literally have 22 steel right now. For my cruises, I think
Turtle, you're having the same issue as me, good sir.
I think I will close the game. I have no steel. I cannot repair the bells. I just blew up trying to fight around Panama.
Yeah, I'm sitting at
chronically low on
7,000.
steel. So chronically low.
I am ranked 13 in the UK.
Do you just not research things?
I research things.
No, I'm asking Perfect Death because he has 7.3k steel right now.
I am
I used to
researching
have
stuff,
that.
but it's just
Show
not.
me your stuff.
My
Oh, I can't. Well, it's too late. I can't see it.
yeah, I've got the 4 items being researched right now, but they're not steel hungry.
Mm.
That's my guess. They must not be
Then
like
you have
a.
me who was researching the Excalibur earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That's where most of my steel went. I'm
Yeah,
not
that was a
researching
mistake. I
it.
should not have started those quad 14-inch guns.
I'm
Yeah,
not researching
this
it
guy.
anymore right now.
Yeah,
I'm researching a different gun right now.
I got the Excalibur too, and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure 15K
I didn't
or
even notice the
1500.
amount that it took. I didn't even notice the amount it took before my steel reserves went all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
Thankfully,
important to research some CA guns, though. Realistically, do you have any nice ones?
Some 8-inch ones. I got the Pensacola's from something. I forgot.
I mean, I'm checking those out.
Right?
Yeah, the
I got the
1500 steel.
yeah the Pensacola triple, but I also got Pensacola, so now I can also do her double as well.
I
Yeah.
should probably research Cola's.
Well, I'm
guns,
gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna do both. So I'm doing the triple first, then I'm gonna get her like 3 triples, then I'm gonna strip her doubles, and then research those, and then figure out which of the 2 is actually better as a base system.
Mm-hmm. But I think I'll go for the Belfast, Edinburgh, triple 6 inches next, because I got the doing the doubles right now just because they were cheap and easy, and then I'm gonna do the triples because that's my main fleet, and
Gotcha.
I'm kind of thinking secondaries. I'm not sure if because they do
I
have
kind of like the Town Twin 4-inchers.
yeah, they have
They're quite
good
light, and they have good rate of fire.
and good range too. That's
And
20K range.
And they're complete DP capability too.
Their only downside is it's a 3.0 elevation rate,
Yeah, I forgot. I remember that.
whereas the elevation rate on like the 5-inch 38 is a 15 degree.
But you can fix that with traits later.
Mm-hmm. So right now I'm doing the 4.7s that my destroyers have,
Yeah.
and those aren't bad. They don't quite have the good elevation angle of the DP guns, but the trait, there's actually a trait that these have, which is extreme weather condition, which gives them damage and accuracy bonuses in really bad weather.
Yeah, the solution for some of the really bad weather maps.
Mm-hmm.
Guns like that.
Which I encountered, the hurricane weather. But yep, take care, Kev.
If you want other guns to look at, the Brooklyn class triple 6-inch turrets are like insanely well armored and have the highest theoretical damage output of the stats we can see.
Mm-hmm.
Their big Achilles heel, I think, is going to be penetration.
Yeah.
And I think the other one was like their accuracy isn't the best either, but like their sheer rate of fire is kind of crazy compared to the other 6-inch guns.
Mm-hmm.
And their armor values are insane, which means they're also quite heavy. But that's why they're on the Brooklyns, the biggest light cruisers. The other turrets, I mean, you can look at the Mogamis, because the Mogamis apparently have like longer range and more pen. That's kind of it, and they also have very good accuracy. But you know, they take a lot. They're not as well armored, and they have a lot slower reload.
I wonder if
I think
we'll
their
see
shells are
any
bigger
of the
too.
Mogami
If
bells
I remember
while
correctly,
we're
the
here.
Mogami 155s. The third like curveball option, which I think is really interesting, is I think La Marseille
I wonder if we'll see
specifically
any of the Mogami
has
bells
a
while we're here.
triple 152 turret, which doesn't have that much armor. It's like 0.800 armor, and it's like
This
the
is
most
what we've been
weight
training for,
efficient
people.
6-inch turret in the game.
Hmm.
That might be worth looking at. Because it's basically if you wanted to like triple turret upgun your smaller light cruisers, that would be the best way to go. Is that the French unarmored triple 6-inch
Oh,
turret?
this is lovely.
Yep.
So warm.
Not sure if I'm gonna do the town
ones.
ones.
Guns.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the town ones just because I don't think they're like specialized enough to warrant it. Like I kind of would rather have the American or
So,
the
the
Mogami
Mediterranean. I
155s
should get postcards.
or the super light French ones. I think the towns are kind of in the middle of those
Mm-hmm.
in a way that's not exactly desirable. At least that's my opinion. Oh, did you see my post earlier about my Kitakami?
What'd you do?
My Kitakami 1v1 gun dueled a treason and set off one of its magazines. It had like 18k health and it just disappeared in an instant. I was like, what the fuck? And it was just the Kitakami because everyone else had bugged out due to running out of reserves.
Mm-hmm.
And that was... But the Kitakami is like the Doom guy in my IGN destroyer fleet. She's always the last one standing, which means she's like 1v1ing treasons and winning the gunfights half the time.
Yeah, Onyx is the main destroyer of my fleet. Like she's the last one out, and then she literally just kills everything.
Yeah, Laudacious has a lot of reserves, so she's always my last one out.
Oh, interesting. I don't like all Audacious because she keeps eating flooding damage from regular shell hits.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be fair, I also have Ended inside the fleet, so yeah, Audacious is just not taking any damage because everybody's aiming at Ended.
Really? Good.
Yeah,
I'm starting to notice that the way they designed the hard mode really doesn't make any sense. And they really need to make that change where they don't punish you for being under-leveled for the hard-level missions. Because the way it works right now, you have to choose between balancing the levels of your fleet to do hard mode on the lower-level missions, or pushing the levels of your top fleet up so you can actually do the harder missions you unlocked. And it's dumb that you have to choose. You should be able to do both. Maybe not well, but you should still be able to do both, you know?
I haven't dabbled in hard yet, mostly because it's like Belfast would scale up the difficulty so much.
I haven't even done hard mode yet.
I have a plan. I have a plan. It's just getting all the bells in my fleet to like within 5 bet levels of each other. It takes so much effort.
Yeah, my Belfast is like 10
fleet...
levels higher than the second highest.
Oh, you guys don't know how bad my fleet disparity is.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, another actually got a Bestial.
Yeah, I recently put 2 Leander classes into my fleet, Orion and Perth. And so they've... For one, Orion is like drawn the fire away from Laudacious, whereas...
Oh yeah, Orion's good for that.
Mm-hmm. But Orion actually has like really low reserves, especially like Perth has more reserves.
Yeah, the highest of my second fleet is 26 with Kamikaze, and then the lowest of my actual main fleet is 38 with the Dizer. I'm blanking on names right now. Pronunciation is hard.
I feel like you could do some shenanigans with the low reserve bells. Now that I think about it, though.
Because they can just run away, just drop torps and run.
Yeah, you could do like an IGN style where you just drop torps to long range and then stick around for 4 combats, then leave before any of your bells take damage. I don't know. I feel like there's some shenanigan potential there. I just need to find the right combo.
It would drink your torpedoes very quick, though.
I mean, that's not a problem on missions with bases, or if you're bringing other fleets that actually have guns.
True.
Yeah.
But this is like the idea is you use them to soften up. I haven't done that yet, just because like.
Which is kind of what I feel happened in the real war or something like that.
Kinda.
Well, that was originally Japan's plan for their Kantai-Kessen doctrine, was that as the Americans would go up the Pacific Islands, the Japanese had these, destroyer groups led by, their destroyer leaders, and they would just torpedo ambush at night and run away.
They thought they were going to do the same thing with their cruisers, too.
Mm-hmm.
Have the Congos lead like a group of heavy cruisers.
Yeah.
Night attack on the night before the decisive battle.
And they had some success in the Guadalcanal campaign in that area, the Solomon Islands, until the Americans started using the radar more.
And denying night engagements. That's the other thing they started doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah, we're not going to stick around and let you just run up on us at night. Thank you very much. We're going to leave. Come back later.
Because it was a good plan, assuming nobody, changes their plans.
Takes literally any countermeasures.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like how when they originally came up with their Conti-Kessin doctrine, they weren't expecting America to have close alliances with Australia and Britain. Because, again, like, America really hated Britain for quite a while. Like, there's even some, like, crazy stuff that Admiral King, who was in charge of the American Navy there, he was, like, super against working with the British. So,
I'm back to my old self.
but then the Americans they switched their war plans to War Plan Rainbow Color, I think it was called. And that incorporated them deploy that if they should end up at war with Japan, they would deploy not just directly to the Philippines, they would instead go to Australia, basically.
Right.
And then Japan's like, hey, you're supposed to come through the islands and let us ambush you. What the hell? So then they had to go out. And then that's when, like, they started planning things like Midway and the Coral Sea battles and stuff like that. They were too overextended for those things.
I'm not sure if I would agree with that characterization. They did Midway in the Coral Sea because they kept wanting to take more land.
Well, they had to take more in order to extend out their defensive line to prevent the Americans from bombing Tokyo.
Yeah.
And so it was just like a lot of doubling down, right? That just led that they're like,
Probably
okay, in order
about
for us to get this, we need this, and then we need this, and it's just like a chain of doubling down to just grab more.
I have posted in the voice chat what my hard mode plan is, and you can see the level disparities I had to work with. But in theory, if I was going to be going into hard mode, this is the setup I would want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But in order to do this, I need to make sure the lowest level bell in this entire group is like 5 under the highest one. I think the highest one is Belfast at the time of this picture, which is 39. Which means I gotta drag all of these like level 1 bells in the picture up to level 34 at the minimum. Without letting Belfast get more XP. It's gonna be annoying. And again, to do this, I basically have to give up any hope of over-leveling to the point where I can complete the 30s easily. Which is what the game is sort of built around, you completing the higher level missions over time, right? So, I don't know. Not sure this is actually going to make sense at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Cinda posted feet.
Whose feet is it though? I can't tell because I don't have
I
a
need to
probably.
bonk 'em. Bonked.
Oh, and then because I was talking about flooding, somebody's just like, light cruisers and destroyers only. So that they just dodge all of them.
Dodge taking.
Mm-hmm.
It only happens whenever you have a very high advantage in levels.
Yeah.
Like my recruit right now is at level 50. I'm currently doing Ashigata's the Ashigata grind right now, so yeah, it's mostly a waiting game.
He was doing skin showcase video, so I think he's talking about probably the Black Swan one from Moskva.
The Zulu one is also animated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I showed you it. Or I told you about
And
it.
then both just like, who got it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just Moskva, right? With those slippers.
That's my guess.
We only have a few ballet dancers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking like that pose reminds me of Masva when her back like twisted out of control and didn't actually look right. Okay, I'm gonna write I'm gonna write the shit I learned about how carriers work and then go to sleep.
Yeah, he confirmed. It's Moskva. Oh, my range keeper is in the slow phase. It's like hanging around 90% for a while. As it's slowly chiseling away at the gremlins. I was thinking about some other kinds of video content to make. Just to get stuff out there, because the more content you make, the more people notice. The more people notice, it snowballs. So I might just do like short, quick spotlight videos on some of the bells that I've got.
I've been holding off on doing the character stories because I'm like, do I want to do the character story? Do I want to record the character story and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Incinda was saying that he streams him doing character stories when he plays. I'd probably just stick to like, say I want to talk about the tribal class destroyers, and I just do like a more of a game topic on that stuff, like how they apply to the game, and who knows, maybe at some point go into more of the historical stuff or the story stuff. But
so we have story guy, just general stuff, and then Incinda, who's doing reviews on this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Captain. You
Because I can
count on
definitely
us.
see going through the bells and talking about the artistic inspirations,
Mm-hmm.
like how their outfits fit them and all that stuff.
Yep.
You should send.
Carrier dodged it all. Good. I'm not exactly sure how much of an advantage the AA support tactic is giving me that Perth provides. That's why I have her as a flagship right now, is all flank speed, and also provides me with that AA support.
Man, it probably. I mean, it depends on how much dual purpose AA is in your fleet. I imagine. Because that's the secret, right? The dual purpose, long range dual purpose AA is what lets the ships cover each other. Without it, they can't really do anything, even if they wanted to.
Yeah.
I turned off your scream. Hold up, who's in your fleet?
I have a lot of those British ones with the 4-inch dual-purpose guns. But again, those aren't upgraded at all or provided with traits. I'd have to probably like research.
Something.
Yeah, I'd probably have to like I think I've seen a couple of times where only like one plane flies out to attack somebody, so I think that the squadron got murdered that wave. It's just usually they don't, because I think my stuff's just too inaccurate. And
Yeah, I'd say your destroyers are kind of the weak link there, because their guns don't really help at all, except against torpedo bombers. Even then, they probably don't. They don't have the elevation to help ships next to them. They only have the elevation to protect themselves.
Yeah, the tribals do have pretty good personal AA, because they've got the quad pom-poms,
Yeah.
which is one of the things I'll probably research in the queue. It's up there on priorities, is to get
We'll hit.
either the quad or the octo. But I think I do want to get some of those dual purpose stuff done. Like, at least so I can get traits, so that I can apply them to try to get that, like, power loading and power elevation stuff.
Right.
But the current priority is better main guns and better accuracy. Surface stuff. And then I'll work towards AA or torpedoes. But Perth's flank speed is definitely nice. It provides such a good boost. They just draw in to close range fast. So I've had quite a few rounds where I couldn't finish an enemy fleet off because they were like a carrier or a battleship, and they don't move in close range. They just hang out. And so then you're spending most of the rounds shooting inaccurately, right?
I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
The advantage of flank speed and how it lets you get into your ideal DPS range.
Right.
Especially against
Assuming it's
carriers and
closer.
battleships.
Yeah.
Because they like to fight at their max range if they can, right?
Battleships do.
Carriers too
I
sometimes.
think carriers do too, just because they want to survive.
Mhm.
Any thoughts? That's more their attitude. They're more like, hey, if we're not closer, we're less likely to die. Cool.
Yep.
I wonder if flank speed though makes you more vulnerable to eating torps, because that's how you think it would work realistically. You're much more likely to blunder to torpedoes if you're trying to just like go really fast into an enemy.
I mean, historically, they would usually zigzag while
Right,
going
but there's
flank.
no way you can flank speed in one direction while zigzagging, right? Flank speed means you're going like max speed in a straight line, basically.
Or unless you're talking about the throttle setting, right?
Right. Flank speed in this case definitely means max speed to go faster towards the enemy, right? There's no way you can do evasive maneuvers of any kind while maintaining that kind of max speed.
Well, considering how rare Belfast gets hit by torpedoes, her on flank speed seems to be okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much noise with this stuff, though, that like you can't really know.
Yep.
That's what's frustrating.
Well,
Yeah,
I've done her fights with and without Perth as the fleet leader, and torpedo chant seems about the same.
Yeah, makes sense.
Just as like a rough ballpark feeling.
I mean, I guess the penalty of flank speed is just that you're getting into torpedo range. Right?
Yeah.
And that works both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're at a level where the Morgana AI has missing their torpedo.exe executable.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Mediterranean. I should get postcards.
Remember you were saying how the French light cruiser guns were really good?
They're interesting.
Yeah.
What do you
I was just
bringing
looking at which bells I've got enough stuff for to take a look to draw
There's
one.
two of them, because I think Emile Breton and Marseille have two different versions of that turret. One
Yeah.
of them has more armor and is just a lot heavier. And I think that's where it kind of drops off in its interestingness, because it's kind of just not as good as some of the other 3 triple 6-inch options.
Yeah.
The one that doesn't have as much armor, it's like 0.8, I think is when I checked it. That one's interesting because it's super light for a triple 6-inch. It's only like 260 weight or something like that base, even with the gremlins, which is kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. Because yeah, I can rescue either Emile or Marseille.
I did close my game. Give me 1 sec.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 1 sec.
Because I'm getting closer to finishing. I'm still at 68% on the twin 6-inch guns. And let's see, who else do I have?
Also, Ace has a lot higher weight cap than Emil, so I would recommend Marcel Ace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't actually have very many of the other factions light cruisers, but then again, most factions don't have that many light cruisers, not compared to the UK, who just has like 7 or something like that.
Royal Navy moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Marseille and Emile Breton. Let's take a look. That's Emile Breton. Okay, so Marseille has the armored versions, which you can check out if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Their total weight is like 296.66. However, Emile Breton has the unarmored versions, which are 228. Oh my god, that's so light.
Mm-hmm.
I think we found out something interesting.
Yeah,
Captain.
Emile Breton has 152 MM-55 MLE 1930 triple MLE 1930. You can actually see their stats in the community spreadsheet I have. Never mind, no one actually put them in. No, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was one of Messer Bar's recommendations. That's how I know about it.
Because I feel like light cruisers for armor, like, does that even really matter for them because they're already light cruisers?
Yeah. Let me see. Hold up. Let's see. Calculator. Let's do a calculator on this real quick. 228 weight. 228.749. Hold up.
Yeah, the towns are 256 or 259.
Divided by 3. That you're getting a 6-inch gun for 76 tons. Design weight. It's tons, I think. You're getting a barrel for 76 tons. If you compare that to, I don't know, one of the British 6-inch turret, double 6-inch turrets.
The British one, their double is 140 weight total.
Yeah, the 6-inch 50 BL Mark 12 Twin Mark something.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
So that's 70 per gun.
It looks like you lose the ability to shoot at spotting range.
Yeah, because it's 26k range.
Yeah.
And the
low
town
angle is also quite a bit worse, so the effective rate of fire is not as much of an improvement as you would think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
At longer ranges, at least. At closer ranges, it's obviously better.
The town guns are also same 26k range. So the Emile Breton ones, what's their range?
29.
29.
Yeah, the Emile Breton ones can hit at spotting range.
Mm-hmm.
They do 48 more damage per penetrating hit, which, considering the total damage is like 176, that's like quarter. That's like 25% more damage. Or maybe a bit more than that. It's like 33% more damage compared to the British 6-inch turret. The British 6-inch turret is a lot more accurate. I think there's some nasty gremlins on the Breton guns that make them really inaccurate.
Do you suppose
Compared to the British ones, at least.
I'll just rescue her.
Just have to
And then
RNG them out.
directly. I'll just do the rescue mission, and then I can just directly compare them.
Yeah, and then the other one, the other more advanced one is like more 1-to-1. That's the one the British tried to give 60 elevation so it could shoot at airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
funky.
The mission will...
Also worth noting, it looks like the French guns have better armor penetration than the British ones.
Is it just because it's got like a longer barrel?
More muzzle velocity, I would guess. Yeah.
Because the British are 50s, right, for length?
The French are 55s,
Yeah.
so longer barrels.
Yeah, so for direct comparison, the total weight compared to the towns is 30 less. The max range is like 3.5k more. Rate of fire is slightly worse. Elevation rate slightly worse. AA angle slightly worse. Load angle slightly better. And fatigue is like barely any difference there.
A war shot, I think, should be better for the French one, right?
Yeah, the shot outside of dispersion.
Yeah, dispersion is where it's worse.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect some gremlins are the doing some of that, but I think the British ones are also just more accurate base, I would guess.
Yeah. And then, of course, armor.
How much worse is it?
So face hardened is 0.8 better on the town class, and the homogeneous is 1.1 better. So it's like twice as better, or more than twice as much armor.
Gotcha. I guess the question there is, what shells is that cutoff making the difference against, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, destroyer guns at medium range, maybe?
Maybe. Because, yeah, most stuff is probably just going to penetrate through that anyway. You're relying more on evasion or just being less of a juicy target. Either way, I'd probably want to long-term research more types of guns anyway, because like you say, different ones have different perks, traits that you can apply to them, which I haven't gotten into yet, but that's because I've only recently gotten one thing out of 100%. Mm-hmm.
So, the Mediterranean. I should get postcards.
I think I'm going to do more choking on the Ron just because it's got those Italian heavy cruisers that I haven't quite gained very much stuff for. I figure why not.
Right. Oh, excuse me. Now you distracted me. Going back to writing.
Mm-hmm. And people are asking about wing versus center line torpedoes.
Oh my god, there's always a
Yep.
fucking question about that.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, where? I don't see any messages.
Yeah, just in the VB general discussion. It's just like, yeah, you get to use all of your torpedoes, but you have a higher risk of them just getting detonated altogether. There might also be some preference from people if you want to spread your torpedo use out a bit more and not just dump them all at once. Or maybe you do want to dump them all at once. Ooh, lots of destructions in this fight. It's like, what, 5 destructions? Well, time to exchange torpedoes.
have to rewrite this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even when I was playing on Rule the Waves 2, because it has carrier combat in there as well, I still haven't really figured out how to do carrier combat in that game. So, I'll be interested to see how carriers are in Victory Bell. It's probably pretty simple because it's just a lot of automated stuff. But in Rule the Waves 2, it's like pretty complicated. Because you gotta like stage your strike groups, and then you just pick a point on the map and then hope they find something, and then hope they hit it. Or hit the thing you want them to hit. They might hit something else along the way.
See that?
But that game goes into really late game stuff. Like, for example, by 1942 in that game, a research becomes available for all nations for armor-piercing dive bombs. And at that point, if you want anything to survive a dive bomber attack, it needs to have like 7 inches of deck armor and turret top armor. Which is a lot, because generally you would go for like 3 inches of deck armor to protect against like high angle shells dropping down on your deck. So like 7 inches is a lot of weight to put onto a ship. So it's like, do you make ships that heavy, or do you just accept that they will die if a dive bomber hits them? Cooks their magazine off. So that's why, like, Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, that game doesn't have aircraft in it, because everybody's just like, they're no fun, they ruin my battleship game. And it's like, yes, dive bombers do that. Because, yeah, dive bombing, an armor-piercing bomb going right through the turret top, goes right into your magazine. It just detonates. That's what happened to Arizona, basically. And also, like, I think Scharnhorst had a bomb drop through, blow up one of its turrets. There's quite a few examples of ships just cooking off from bombs, armor-piercing bombs going through them. But I am HQ level 34, getting close to 35. Whenever I get to that, 35. I think, what was it? 45 when you start to see the first battle cruisers? I think that's what everybody was saying. And then they go and get...
You might just get a medal for that one.
But yeah, I think it was 40 that I can farm Graf Spee, or Admiral Spee. Spee. And get radar. There we go. Urza's posted his torpedo discussion.
Yes.
Ooh, Rotgrutz. Got an item for Spee. Let's see, has an hour passed? Nope. 23 minutes left on that.
Roots is hipper, not spay.
Was it? Because I've got this one. If I mixed up my bells, maybe. Let's pull up Germany. Oh, that one looks like... Oh, no, that is Spay. Yep. I just mixed them up.
Can you imagine trying to reload your torpedoes under fire? That'd be horrible.
Yeah, I think that's only why, like... they did carry reloads at a certain point, but that was like, they would disengage, usually.
And then reload them out of combat, yep.
Yeah.
And then come back.
Unless you were a submarine, then they could, and sometimes did, but then they'd make more noise and might be detected easier. Depends.
I'm back to my old self, Captain.
I've played sub-sims. And sometimes you don't want to reload if stuff is like moving around above you and trying to hear you out with their sonars.
I need to go back into the game. God damn it. This game's too complicated.
Good.
You should send
Oh, they're discussing how it's a nice and fair 7-on-7 fight. Even if there's more than one stack of enemies in one area, it's not like a 14-on-7. Except
Soon.
Except then the player would just bring like 2 or 3 fleets into one fight all the time.
Let's go!
Oh, nice.
Let's
Do you
take a look.
Do you have the refit capacity to equip them?
No. Who do you think I am? All right, hold on. Let's get his base stats logged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't exactly heard what's the refit threshold for being able to equip the...
Specialist is like 250. It's dumb.
Yeah. Because I know at Mac that once you hit, I think 150 is the highest you really need it.
Special duty is a little easier to unlock.
Mm-hmm.
Other than it did. Oh!
But does he only cost 1 power to R&D? 1 manpower?
He's cost 2, I think.
2? Yeah, those guys are cheap to R&D. Saves you on steel, I guess.
Oh, I got that lovely bug. One that overlays the remove and add button. Wait, what the fuck? It took it off. It took off the trait. What?
Uh-oh. Did you find a new bug?
What? No! I got fucking fucked up by that stupid bug!
See that?
Well, now you know. Yep, reef. Yeah, these little lock icons. That's what your refit cap determines. And this ship has like 59 refit cap.
Well, I hate everything, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. That's a lot of stuff to lose.
I'll just have to put it back on and put it back in therapy.
Mm-hmm. Ah, 147 for the...
Why am I out walking, you might ask? Obviously, it's because otherwise I'd be asleep like a sensible person. and
Nope.
I'm sure there
No,
are
not what I
regulations
wanted.
prohibiting
Left.
that.
There we go.
Oh,
Alright,
there we go.
ship. Weights. Capacity.
What's the artificer's amount? 104.
They tend to make shit, like armor and stuff like that.
192. Mm-hmm.
Okay, reserves. Oh, I love that. It's a 0.025. I love it. Oh, minus 2.5% crit chance though. That's not bad.
I'm back to my old self.
Alright, so this guy gives a little bit of weight capacity, a little bit of reserves. He actually hurts your crit defense? What the fuck? That kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go X. Yeah, thank you for the notice. Oh shit, the one I took off is gonna put 86 difficulty with the gremlins back on. That's annoying.
Oof.
I think that's more than I fucking got off of him to train him in the first place. I hate this. No, you know, fuck it. We're not putting it back on. All it does is increase refit cost and Bell of the Day channel, like diplomatic channels. Fuck that. That's not worth it. Speaking of which, I need to log these as well.
Yeah, so when you're putting new traits on, how do you get new ones? Do you just learn when you discover it?
And every trait you've already learned goes into like a database, basically.
Mm-hmm. So you don't have to like take any off to learn them or anything like that?
Nah. I do it because I want to see their base stats. Like what the stats look like without all the noise.
Yeah.
Let me log it.
You should send.
Alright, let's log these advantages. Oh, someone already put in seen so many faces. Does that mean someone also put and wrote the new book?
Good.
No. Okay.
Mhm.
Wrote the new book.
I
It gets correction. Makes your ship more accurate. It's kind of nice.
You should send.
Correction. Gotta
This is
improve
on
that
the-
gunnery.
What is his official name? Induction and Training Officer. There we go. It's 14. Also very easy to put on. It's only 14 difficulty. That's a song I'm listening to. Le Régiment des Sombres et Mou. Fair enough.
Le Regimente.
It's just
Sounds French, that's for sure.
Hmm.
do you think
Hit chance. Wait. Hit chance. Wait, it just increases hit chance? Not accuracy, just hit chance. That's crazy. I mean, it's only 0.005 hit chance. But still. Like, you're just bypassing the equation. It's just a straight buff to hit chance. That's hilarious.
Well, so the Jutland trait that I got from the Queen Elizabeth class directors is a 2% hit chance increase when less than 7,500 yards. So if you can get one, research it enough until you learn the Jutland thing, and then you have a really good daytime fire director trait.
This one is hit chance at ranges greater than 22,500 yards plus 0.005. I think if I remember correctly, that's like long range, basically. Long range and spotting range.
If you're over 2,500 yards, was it?
Hold up. We got a new guy.
Mm-mm. He wants to know about romancing. Yeah, I only recently noticed the War Room channel in the Discord. Oh, found a carrier in the rain. Always easy.
You should send.
Alright, wrote the book. Do we have captain's backing? No, we don't. I gotta put that in. So sad. That's like the thematic. That's like one of the thematic ones. Costs like 83 to put on someone. I'm so annoyed. You know what? I'm gonna do it just cause fuck the game. Nah, never mind. I probably shouldn't. I don't want to bug it again.
Good. Yes. Good.
drinks for everyone?
know what? No. I'm not gonna let the bug win. God damn it. You may have lost the captain's backing, induction and training officer, but we're gonna get it back.
You sure that, Bug?
Nope, never mind. Game said no. Not again. No, we're gonna interference code 21. Yeah, so it's just bugged. Okay, great. Goodbye, induction training officer. I'm never using you until the bug's fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that looks like fun!
Well, someone in the Discord is asking if the items from the gacha,
I'll look at it in a second.
if they are exclusive to it or not. Aren't most of those just vestitures?
I'm back to my old self, Captain. Captain,
Getting quite a few rose drops recently. I think that's like 4 within the last like 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Do you think it would be presumptuous to call that one a miracle? Another job well done. Thank you, everyone. Another job well done. Thank you, everyone. I'm back to my old self, Captain.
You should send. Look at you.
She's
Oh. Why are flats?
Yeah, yeah. Drinks for everyone!
You. You are. It's. What's a. It's a. You're in.
Well,
What?
X.
she's out.
Hello.
Oh, Belfast dodged the torpedoes. Yay.
Yay.
Does having a fire director on like your second battery, for
Yeah,
example,
it's
add
total, I think
reduction?
total helps, as far as I understand.
Yeah, so the total redundancy.
oh,
But yeah, the fire director only applies to the ones on the same battery.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you don't have anything on main battery 2, then it wouldn't do anything.
Aside from fried redundancy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something, I guess.
Yeah, so like the accuracy bonuses from main batteries fire director 1 wouldn't apply to 2 or 3?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
At least as far as I understand.
Yeah.
Oh, I got just enough steel to do another research on the triple 8-inch guns. Alright, I'm sending the battle-hardened machinist to therapy.
Do you think it would be presumption?
How do you get some of the other crew members?
Other crew?
Yeah, like gunner slot crew and stuff like that.
I got some squadrons out of the Pensacola box. Got some squadron people that are gunnery people.
With choice items.
Yeah, because I know for sure you get the engineer guy and the training guy from at least like within the first 15 story mode missions.
Well, Captain.
Oh, 52 sees a bell. I think that's the... Oh, it's tipped my tongue which German light cruiser she is. I think that was one of the Kickstarter bells that you could get. I could probably just... Nuremberg.
Mushy.
You know what? I have just enough steel. I can start on the, Oh yeah, I can start on the Mirabilis, bullshit recruit secondary.
Your secondary?
Recruits bullshit secondaries.
Mm-hmm.
Mirabilis Mark 15, P15, White Oak. The secondary 5-inch guns made out of wood.
Mm-hmm.
It only costs 1 steel to break down because they're made out of wood.
Oh,
That's what I'll start working on. Well, I have no steel.
Just keep the lines researching.
I'll stop producing stuff though, because again, out of steel. I guess I just got my membership delivery. I can redeem that to get some steel.
Hey. Sure.
do you think?
Well, I should probably read into the Royal Navy's war room discussions. Now that the channel's open.
Some of the communities also use their war rooms as just like a less chaotic general chat to hang out.
Royal Navy's one is pretty sparse.
I should check up on the Soviets. I do my best to engage my Japanese players, but they have a tendency to lurk, I notice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just try to, you know, stress things like, holy fuck, we need oil to them, you know? Stuff like that.
I'm
Yep.
back to my old self, Captain. Don't worry, Captain. You can count on us.
Cancel this one, actually. Shuffle around some of the bells on that fleet.
She's out.
The mission.
Okay. Kind of don't want to take this into 25s, but I could do 20s with this fleet pretty reliably. Or we just see. Oh, we can do the Battle of Bangkok. I've actually been neglecting that one. Do a couple of those. Bang, bang, Bangkok.
Good. She's out.
I feel like the enemies in that one don't move around much.
We're kind of stationary.
Yeah, maybe. I also haven't run it that much either.
Oh, she.
I really.
Oh, somebody got their Hermes. Congratulations.
Success, Captain. Permission to down.
Light aircraft carrier Hermes. Looks like she's got like a super long hammer. Two-handed. Whoa. all three of those destroyers shot torpedoes at Belfast same time. She dodged them all.
Do you think it would be presumptuous?
Interesting. Apparently, so the way it works right now is that each battery that conducts AA work targets a different squadron. Then all the mounts in that battery get like randomly distributed to different planes in that squadron. A squadron can have up to 9 planes. What that probably means is that you actually want all 3 light AA batteries to be filled up before you start stacking more of them. It's more important to make sure that like there's no unmolested planes than it is to have really bothered small numbers of planes.
Yeah, so since you have those 3 different AA slots, right? You're saying spread out your AA among those?
You want to use them all. You want to make sure there's one in every single battery before you start doubling up.
Yep.
Because that way you can engage 3 different squadrons. I guess from that perspective, the dual-purpose mounts, all mounted on main battery 1, they'll also all concentrate on like one squadron when it's approaching.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, Captain. You can count on us. This place is interesting. I should be taking notes.
We'll hit.
So no customizable air groups on your carriers? I haven't seen carriers and how you can modify them, but somebody's saying that Hermes is only swordfish. Do. Torpedo exchange. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh.
See that? That.
Oh, somebody just did a big lower dump on the American 8-inch guns. Comparing their weight stats. Oh, somebody got a level 100 Laudacious.
Don't worry, Captain. You can count on us.
Every. She's.
Oh, I think that.
Oh, your combat guide for aircraft is now done.
Yeah. It took me a week.
Three pages. Battles are a critical component of victory bells. They occur when a player-controlled Bell fleet and Morgana fleet run into each other during a campaign. An airstrike is conducted. Oh, he's editing it in real time on me.
The mission was.
When a player... God, what was I thinking when I was saying this? What other things can trigger battles? I don't remember. Oh well, I'll figure it out later. Right, it's like campaigns running into nodes. It's airstrikes, and I think it's just story battles. Is there another way to trigger battles?
I mean, story battles are basically also rescue battles too, right? Where you just...
Do I say that?
I don't know. I don't know if you brought up rescues.
Yeah, I did. Okay.
Do you think you? I wonder if we'll see any of the Megami bells while we're here.
Clear space on the deck, folks. We have a find.
I wonder if we'll see any of the Megami bells while we're here.
This is what we've been training for, people.
This place is interesting. I should be taking notes.
Yeah, I actually pulled off all of the scouting planes off of my ships just because I found that the enemy carriers were detecting me way too easily because I was launching scout planes.
I don't follow. How do those two things interact?
Well, when I've done some testing on it where you have your fleet go out and scout like right away. And in one mission, there's like a really high chance that there was a carrier like right next to you. And when it was there, it would almost always get a airstrike off as like right after or shortly after I would do a scout mission.
Ah, so that's like telling the enemy carrier there.
And so then one time I was playing, I didn't launch the scout plane and I just sat on the node and I waited until night, and just before it turned night, there was like an hour before nighttime would turn, I decided, you know what, I'll launch my scout plane, and because I wasn't getting airstriked, so I'm like, okay. So I launched the scout plane and then boom, immediately an air raid.
That's funny.
So I was like, wait, are they detecting where my fleet is because of the scout planes? Because that would make some sense, because that's a thing.
Yep.
And so then I just took off all the scout planes. I just wasn't scouting, and it was like 3 days before I got another, like 3 actual in-game or days of me playing the game before I ever got another air raid again. Now, at some of the higher levels that I've been playing lately, I have been getting the odd air raid, because I think they're still trying to scout me, but I think their detection chance is a lot lower if you aren't using...
or they're just doing a blind, and they're choosing the wrong nodes.
Yeah, something like that. It's just, in terms of just sheer statistics, not using scout planes has resulted in me taking a lot less air raids.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Unless they do detect you on the first try, then it'll happen. That's happened at least like twice today. But considering how much I've played, I should be getting like air raided constantly if I was like almost every mission, if I was actually using my scout planes. At least that's how I've been playing lately. So I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Because there is a stat on your airplanes that's like identification stat, and that says how easy it is for that plane to get detected or ID it. And so I think that might be the stat that's telling the AI that, hey, enemy scout planes are flying, from this direction, to and from this direction, and then that probably gives them a detection bonus or something like that. Something's going on where they can then find you easier. Because it still wasn't guaranteed. There were still some missions where I'd launch a scout plane and then the carrier didn't air raid me. But that was like a really rare chance.
Right.
So I think that was still them failing their scout roll.
That makes sense. Oh, well, this isn't necessarily got about scouting. But that's interesting information to know.
'Cause I think I need more definitive testing to really figure that out, but so far I've had very few. Even in this stream right now, like the amount of carriers I fought versus the amount of air raids, I think I got air raided once during the stream. Because, yeah, there are other things that throw variables at you, like how far away the carrier is from you. Which is why that node was so... That one example was so noticeable, because it was a close node that was right next to me. And so it was, like, pretty easy to test it.
Right.
The mission was a success, Captain.
Yeah, there's another game that's called War on the Sea, which is like a Pacific Solomon Islands campaign game. And in that one, I actually would, if you could see, like if you had scouts out, you could spot like an aircraft squadron or some kind of aircraft moving along on the strategic map. You wouldn't really know much about it, like be able to identify anything off of it, but you could see its direction it was going. And so like in the morning you would see them fly out in one direction, and then at night they'd fly back. And so if there was an enemy aircraft carrier, that route would be going out to someplace in the ocean. And then this could give you an idea that, okay, in this grid square there's a carrier operating around there.
Right.
But sometimes you would send your own scouts and you wouldn't find them, because the carriers in that game had this behavior where they would go out to sea at night away from the combat areas, and then they would loop back around and they would get close to their target objectives, and then they would launch during the day, and then they would sail, their patrol would loop back away.
Gotcha.
Which was actually historical of what they did.
Success, Captain. Permission to... Do you think it would be presumptuous to... Do you suppose...
She's
Oh! I really... mission was a success.
Also, on the note on the aircraft carrier fights, that is one of the things that I have noticed, as you mentioned in your guide, where if the fleet has been scouted by the aircraft carrier, and then you end up in an actual fight between the two fleets, then they get their strike group that they can launch right at the very start, right?
Yep.
So because I've been doing a lot of that no scout plane thing, I often do run into aircraft carriers that don't throw their aircraft at you because you've essentially attacked them when you're unscouted, right? So then it takes them
Pick
like
up on them.
takes them about 2 turns before they can start launching aircraft.
Right, and it's usually, and they can't launch the full package. It's noticeably less.
Yeah.
It's because all the aircraft in their hangars are not it's not possible to get them up on the deck fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
So the crew will try.
But yeah, definitely if I've been air raided and then you fight their carrier, then yeah, they just like throw waves at you.
Yeah.
But I think the exception of it is when I've maybe like another fleet had detected me, like maybe I can't exactly remember all the details if this is exactly true, but say there's 2 fleets on a node and you go in to attack that node, and then maybe that scouts you because you fought in one of their fleets already and then the other one's the aircraft carrier. Because there are cases where I don't get air raided and then I fight the carrier and then the carrier launches right away.
Do you know? Pay attention to see if you have the eye stat on you at the start of those battles.
Like,
As far as I understand, like if you aren't scouted when you initiate those, they shouldn't be able to get their hangar planes.
So where does the eye show up?
It's in battle.
In the
like,
battle.
It's like next to your fleet.
That'd be something to look for.
I mean, you don't scout, so it's no wonder you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you did scout,
Yeah, I
notice
used
the
to
eyes
scout
after
a
a while.
lot. I used to try to scout all the time.
Well, it's worth noting that a carrier won't automatically scout the tile it's in. It still has to deploy the aircraft to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why it might be like triggering if you have 2 different enemy fleets that you fight on the same tile. Because it might be scouting after the first one hits you, maybe. So you can interfere with the carrier's ability to launch aircraft when you're
By
fighting on
shelling its
direct.
deck, yes.
It's just not like a hard, oh, if there's fire, no aircraft comes out.
Well, yeah, because they might have already launched some.
Mm-hmm.
And your fire might not be in the right place. Yeah, it took 3 weeks of research to write that, or 1 week of research to write that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe by the end of September, I'll have the whole guide done. I mean, the problem is I have to verify so much shit. Like, actually poke around and ask Diff and wait for his response, so I can actually have an idea of how this stuff works. So when I'm telling you it works this way, I'm not just, like, making guesses based on what I think I know of the game. And when you do something like that, it takes a lot longer to write the stuff.
Yep.
Mission.
I think a lot of Jakuma vestures from Battle of Bangkok, so pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I'm currently running Bangkok as well, just to try to reveal more of those bell drops.
X. Yes.
Do you think Victory Bells would be a suitable game to make meme content based on?
Drinks forever.
Probably. It's just, again, a lot of that is all up to community interactions, creativity. Because it's there, you just have to have, people, right? More exposure, and because there's already some, right?
Yeah. Nice addition. You have great voice lines.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still gonna sync you. Oh, she just ate like 6 torpedoes and flooded.
Oof.
Goodbye.
Do you think it would be?
Yeah, I noticed that some of the battle cruisers have more tonnage than the battleships, the Morgana battleships, and I know because my bells keep prioritizing them when they're the same range.
Unless they're using some other variable that's over
No, it's
prioritizing
tonnage.
it.
It's tonnage. Unless you want to make the argument that battle cruisers are somehow a heavier class than battleships, which I think is complete BS.
Well, sometimes
definitely-
if they're in a different division, they might target a different division. Maybe that's like a division that moved closer.
Torpedoes don't do that. Torpedoes only use the basic targeting AI.
Mm-hmm.
So hit chance then tonnage. That's what torpedoes do every single time. And I noticed in some of those battles, like all of my ships were launching torpedoes at sabotage, even though there was a treason right next to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, well, that means the sabotage has more tonnage. Otherwise, you wouldn't get that behavior. Either that, or it's just like way worse at dodging torpedoes for some reason, which I don't think there's any way my bells should have known about that. Well, next up is figuring out some of the bullshit that is torpedoes.
Yep.
Genuinely, I'm pretty sure that the Morganas are using, like, US-style torpedoes. Or maybe, like, Italian or Soviet-style torpedoes. I think is what they're using. Basically, they seem to be quite short-ranged. So, genuinely, to not get torpedoed by them, I feel like just stay away. Just try to just play formations that hold the range.
Mm-hmm.
Play formation and also use formations that have contra-torpedoer targeting so that they die first before they get their torpedoes off. I mean, I know there's some meme ones with like 20k health, but like, I don't know. I still feel like people are a little fast to claim bullshit when their preferred grinding tactic suddenly stops working and they're forced to think about it.
Well, also it depends how much you're over-leveled for it, because they keep shooting
Right.
at Belfast, who's my most over-leveled character in my fleet, and they're just torpedo beat dodging, but I haven't thrown in heavy cruisers and stuff like that, for example.
Right.
So if you suddenly throw a heavy cruiser into close range knife fights with destroyers, and it's like, oh, I'm getting torpedoed. It's like, yeah? That's why I'm... Because I know Pensacola, for example, her tactics are like close range brawl tactics, where she wants to
Right.
flank speed into brawl range. And it's like, cool and
That's
all.
a good way to get torpedoed.
Yeah.
And I don't think Pola has great compartment stats, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The mission must.
Ashigara has a memey 14 compartments. It is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if it's possible for Ashigara to die of flooding before she dies of health damage.
All those. Was it because she was bulged?
Yeah, I think that might be what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I got Lama Paquet. Woo! I love that. I love that Bell's design.
Just. X.
She's
It's good to see Lamont Paquet stalking her historical hunting grounds, trolling the Siamese Navy.
No,
Oh, treason.
I think Belfast took maybe 3 torpedoes that fight.
Drinks for
Gotcha.
everyone!
It's not too common that she gets torpedoed, but it's like 1 or 2 2 or 3 torpedoes. And she's just running a 2 director right now. 2 redundancy.
Night.
Oh, spongy sedition.
Oh, when did I hit Captain's HQ level 31? I never noticed.
Do you think it would?
Oh, La Motte Piquette. I've unlocked her now.
I think she has an awesome design.
Mm-hmm.
Although smoking is bad for you.
Her big cigar.
I noticed among the Morgana destroyers, Injustice seems to have a higher tonnage value. She tends to be the one my torpedoes all go into whenever it's in all destroyers. It's annoying, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
There's like an Injustice with 3,000 health next to like a fucking Calamity with 20,000, and like all my torps are going into the Injustice, and I'm like, why?
I mean, does range have an effect on that target priority?
It affects it through hit chance.
Yeah, because in some cases it might be that maybe it's in a slower division, and therefore the other division got closer.
No. They're at the same range. There's a Calamity with 20k HP, and there's an Injustice with like 3,000 HP next to it, and the adjustment gets every single torpedo on my fleet because we're doing not brawl range torpedo attacks.
You're doing torpedo run tactic, or?
You can't. You don't really get a ton of Japanese CLs that have that, and the ones that do are not called Kitakame. So.
Yep. Because yeah, with that torpedo run, then yes, everything goes at one target. But the other ones, is it if
They
you
still-
do
Yeah,
they
they
just
still select individual targets? It just ends up being the same target anyway because the targeting AI is so basic.
yeah? And so if that target gets sunk, then they don't switch to another one.
Yep.
Because I know sometimes they do, but I think that's just a different type of torpedo attack.
No, it's brawl range. That's the difference.
Yeah, brawl. That's what I was meaning to go for.
I'm
Yep.
back to my old self, Captain.
Because yeah, I've definitely seen it quite a few times where like half of the fleet takes their shots at one target, that target sinks, and then the other half don't do their torpedoes.
The base cruiser attack. Well, I finally killed enough mischiefs to complete the Soviet steel quest. Yes, I have steel now. Do I dare try to complete the League of Nations story mission that has me blocked? Let me see if I can put together a fleet for that. Let's throw that steel down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold up. There's a story cutscene I haven't read yet.
One of the things that always throws me off is that these long ranges, Perth and Orion start shooting first. Meanwhile, Belfast and Edinburgh don't shoot. Even though their guns should have the same range. So I'm wondering if that's just because they're like advancing towards the target so that they're facing it. And then Belfast and Edinburgh can't shoot. Because I'm trying to just visualize
Check their
why.
gun range?
Their gun range says it's the same.
You might just.
Is there an elevation rate difference?
Maybe. I'd have to look into that stat. Because I know I was looking earlier when we were talking about the French guns. And I remember looking at the ranges. But that was an elevation range. Or elevation. Yeah, because the elevation angles allows for the true range, right?
Right. You're saying their gun turrets don't appear? Like they don't have the option to fire? Or they're just not firing, even though the turrets are...
Yeah, Perth and Orion are shooting, but then the other ones are not. None of the other ships are. And Perth and Orion are the lead ships on their two different divisions.
I don't know what's
So,
going on there.
Yeah, once I'm done the campaign, I'll go and check the elevation angles. See if that's reducing the town class gun range.
Ah, Morgana rangefinder. Let's go.
See that? That was
Got a vesture called binoculars. Except they're not from Kamchatka. I wonder whose are they though.
Super battleships? What does that mean?
Super
I'll
battleships?
find out. I guess I'll find out. Ooh, I could put a Shigar in the fleet.
That's for a Japanese ship. Main battery 1 AA gun damage 1%.
You know what? I'll do that. I'll put Ashigar on the fleet. We'll throw. You know what? We'll form up a full battle group and use all of our steel. I'll throw in Pola too. They'll put in Ikazuchi and Kasumi.
Okay, so the twin 6-inch gun has 320 extra range.
And that's the amount that lets us shoot a spotting
I'm
range?
guessing, because if we have the longest range at the start of the fight, then they're just going to have this teeny little bit of extra range.
And they can get in at spotting. That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so, can Ashigara leading Belfast, Boise, Kitakame, Pola, Ikazuchi, and Kasumi take on a monster fleet of super battleships? Let's find out. I want to know what these super battleships are.
It does have less of the elevation angle, but
there's one battleship in it. It's just Sedition. Is Sedition the super battleship?
Well, I'm gonna go to sleep, guys.
I think.
All right. Good night.
Yep. Take care.
Hold on, I'm gonna stream this real quick. Super battleships. I see 2 Seditions and a Sabotage. I am disappointed.
2 submarines.
Mm-hmm. 20k health on one of them. That's kind of scary.
It's a tank boat.
I like Sedition's voice lines. I do find it funny that my 8-inch guns outrange these battlecruisers' guns. Alright, so we're gonna flank to close the range.
Yeah, she does her flank speed at spotting and long range.
They still can't shoot back. Interesting.
Yeah. Though Sedition actually has a really nasty torpedo salvo.
I did notice that. I wonder, who do you think is gonna have more tonnage, the Sedition or the Sabotage? Who do you think's gonna get the Torp special? Alright, so now we're at medium range, I think, because this is 6. We're doing some death charge attacks. Glancing hit.
Yep.
Okay, one of the Seditions is gonna get the Torp treatment. Which makes sense, she has more health. Tracks, you know?
You don't stand a chance. Buona fortuna a riprenderti da questo.
Poor Kasumi with no voice lines. Same
Yep.
with Ashikar. That's funny. Okay, oh, they're shooting back now.
Now for the real gunfight.
Ooh, Kitakame just got slapped.
Yep.
By, I think, the Sabotage?
Yeah, it looks like the Sabotage, yep.
Ooh, her armor's not holding up.
Sabotage has the main guns going for her.
Yep. I guess now we're at close range, right? Yeah, 8 is close range. Alright, so the torpedoes will land. Which one gets blapped? God damn it. Please. Please!
I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, you should be.
Yep. Be embarrassed.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you failed, Kitakami.
Oh my god. Oh, did the weather screw us over or something?
There's
I guess we're
disease.
at raw range. I thought we were at short range. It's okay, Pola's got torpedo beats.
Unless disease just has long range torpedoes. Nah, they're all dropping now.
Oh god, that's so many torpedoes.
Yep.
I think... That's okay, Pola will just dodge them all. Easy. He's got like 4 redundancy. It's actually not that bad.
Esattamente l'opportunità
Hey, Kitakami didn't hear no bell. She's still fighting.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a number on them. Troy's
Yeah.
already dead.
It looks like
One
you're-
of the seditions is flooding.
Yeah, it looks like you're way better at that brawl range. Short range was a bit rough for you.
Ooh, I wonder if these subs will get a chance to torp us this next round because we didn't kill them this round. Nope, never mind. Oh, you know what? I take that back. This actually was a pretty satisfying battle to watch. I think one of the asphyxiations just got like magazine detonated or something.
Yep.
Potrei fare questo tutto il giorno.
Oh, goodbye, Sabotage.
She burned down.
I'm watching this. I've been listening to Soul Squadron from Ace Combat 7.
Mm-hmm.
She gonna flood out, or is she gonna be like, you know, health damaged out? What do you think?
It's
like
close.
It's like health damage.
Yeah, there you go. It was close though.
Mission was a success, Captain. Her mission
Guess who the
was
MVP was?
like a bullet.
Of course. Belfast grabs all the MVPs. Actually,
Battle Sister, Belfast.
lately she hasn't been getting MVPs for me for quite a while. Maybe it's
Who is it
because
then?
it's actually been spread around quite a bit.
Gotcha.
Though Edinburgh often gets them as well, so. But same
I find
class.
that Belfast tends to get over Boise just because like her torps tend to hit more often because she has more of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, looks like that's it. That was fun. That was a really fun story battle, actually. I really enjoyed that. Ouch. Oh, my Ikazuki. Some of my destroyers lost a bunch of torps, apparently, though.
Good.
Ashigara, you're okay. Kitakame? Yeah, you're fine. Shake it off. Yeah, even though Kitakami was the one who took the biggest beating, it was the destroyers who had the highest repair builds because they had apparently lost some torpedo racks to crits.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's an air raid for once. I must have been detected while moving into a spot near the carrier.
Oh dear. What? Captain,
Because it didn't do its airstrike while I was en route from the starting point. Waiting until I moved to another one.
Alright, let's go log listen to your stats, then I'll go to sleep.
Oh, it's actually launching air raids from the clouds. The rain.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. It's on the node for it.
I
Just
don't
me.
recommend it, but you can do that.
Well, it's launching from the rain onto me.
Right.
So.
Yeah, the problem is you can't scout your own hex, so it's a little dangerous.
Mm-hmm. But since it's inside the clouds, it doesn't matter if it's a scout at me. It can't deploy.
Right.
Which is a bit weird that it can launch from bad weather.
But it can't operate inside it, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't usually feel this.
Do you know which cruiser's the La Glacière?
Which cruiser is what?
The La Glacière. Galicianere.
Which nation is that for?
French.
French?
Let me see. Look us here. Jean de Vienne. Oh, it's Marseille.
Oh, Marseille.
Gotcha. It's Marseille's director.
Do you think it would...
I just realized I'm working on the wrong sheet.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Alright. Performance 3895. Year 1933. Weight 9.809. It's quite light. 1.0 redundancy though. 0.11 base accuracy and 1.1 night operations. Pretty accurate, I'd say. The log its advantages. Startometer 1. Gyro stabilized 3.
The mission was a success, Captain.
Emphasis on speed. That sounds like a French quirk if I ever heard one.
It is very ho-ho.
23 difficulty. Ship add speed 3%.
The director.
Gotta go fast. All costs minus 2%. Accuracy. Oh, what is the? What is this? This is okay. Wait, this is hilarious.
Brilliant.
Accuracy above a greater than or equal to 35 knots. Minus 5%. Good. Plus
So if
5% more accurate.
so if they're
And
going
then
fast.
Correction. And it's the same thing for correction. That is hilarious. I guess that's why I thought it was directors, because you go, if you're faster, you go even more accurate. That's funny. That's a funny that's a funny quirk.
So you definitely want them in a flank speed group. Just to try to make sure they maintain that speed.
Do you think it would be...
Fine, I'll stay up 3 minutes so I can redeem my lit match versus cruise and then cycle it again. Then I go to sleep for real.
Yeah. I'm probably going to stop the YouTube stream at this point, but I'll probably hang around in the Discord for a while.